What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Edge of Tech in the Community Showcase every Monday right here, 6 p.m. Central Time. A little bit different configuration today. I had my smaller monitor that I usually use here. It's in the truck, and I was too lazy to go get it. So I took a 47-inch monitor that I have laying around, and I put it right here, and I have a tripod with my camera right here. So I'm looking all over because I had to reconfigure how I'm staring at stuff. But welcome. I really appreciate everybody getting here super early today. Like always, you guys rock and roll and start commenting at least like an hour early. So I definitely appreciate that. We have an awesome show for you guys. We're bringing back Chris. We're bringing back Nerys as a guest host. I think recently, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll go back to that. But let's dial in some business, and then we'll get Chris on, and then I want to bring our guests in. I met these guys at the Milwaukee Maker Fair, and they are awesome. They got some really cool stuff. So I want to bring in the guys from Makers Mashup. But give me 1 second. Let's get some business out of the way. We do have a giveaway tonight. Stick around. We're going to give away a mystery roll of Coex Filament in your choice of type, I believe. They did that last time. We might have a surprise visit later. We'll find out. I'm not going to say who it is. If you're on someone else's stream earlier, you may know because I was chatting in there with him. But thank you to TH3D for sponsoring the channel and sponsoring the show. I really appreciate that. Coex 3D, Coex Filament, you guys rock. I really appreciate the filament. I know next week we're going to have a discount for them again. So we're going to give away a roll tonight. Next week we're going to do another discount for Coex Filament if you have not tried it. RPM Designs, Robbie Mack, thank you for everything you've done with the logos, the backgrounds, everything. And of course, StreamYard for giving us this platform to be on, because this platform is awesome for people like us and people that want to jump on here and use it easy or with OBS or anything. This platform is really cool. But without further ado, all of that aside, stay tuned for a giveaway later. But I think we should bring in Chris. Chris, how you doing? How you doing?
Pretty good. Keep my victims happy.
I love it. So welcome back. Your first repeat guest, I believe, guest host, I believe. So welcome back. I know we're getting close to Earth, so everyone's busy right now. But it's awesome. And I got to tell you, I love the new backdrop. It's so much more bright, and you seem so much more happy since the move, man.
And big shout out to One Bad Marine. Without him, I wouldn't be going to Earth.
Yes, yeah, I remember that took fold on your last live stream.
Give me a ride from the airport and let me stay in his room, which makes it possible for me to afford it.
Right. And in the intro, I was kind of alluding to this. In that last live stream that you did from your house, people were like, how come you didn't come on Community Showcase? You need to go on Community Showcase. And you were like, well, I was the first guest host on Community Showcase, so we're bringing you back. Why not?
For more victims.
That's right. So anything new? I know we got some really cool guests on tonight, so we're going to get to them pretty quick. But what have you been up to since you moved? We saw a bunch of pictures with storage containers and everything. So
I need a workshop space. The house is only about 1,500 square feet. So more than enough for 2 people to live, but no workshop space. This is my living room. That's my kitchen. So I want to put space in the back. I got 1.5 acres. So I figured, hey, I'll put a second mobile home back there. It's 1,000 square feet. It's about $6,000. It's already wired for electric. It's already got heat, insulation. Nope, not allowed to.
Oh, no.
So I can't put a second mobile home, but hey, it's perfectly okay if I drop 3 40-foot metal boxes back there. So that's what I did. So I'm going to bolt them together. Tomorrow when the guy comes out to prep for the concrete work, he's going to use the Bobcat to move them, to put them all together. And then because it's so dry out here, I have an idea I think I can get away with. Bale them together at their corners and then just cut holes between the 2 containers, small holes, so I don't have to worry about gravity collapse. I can't weld. And then just spray insulating foam in the gap between the containers to make them, watertight, because it never rains here. It's 12 inches a year, so I could probably get away with that.
Nice.
It's gonna be very redneck.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. And the pictures you've been posting have been just breathtaking.
Oh, up here is so beautiful. Even when it's overcast, it's beautiful. I mean, you look out your window and it's mountains all around you. It's just incredible.
So Just Joe, I believe, I'm looking around a camera. I have this crazy setup today. Oh, he might have left. I just tried to chat him, and he is not responding.
Get the camera closer.
Oh, you know what?
Volume a little bit.
I have to do it this way. At Just Joe, look up. So look up
76 degrees today. It's not hot.
Or it's
I don't even have the air on.
Right? So I was just answering at Just Joe. He asked me what your channel was. I said, look up Nerys on YouTube or go in the description of this video and you can click the link there.
There you go.
But without further ado, I know we could talk all night. We have done that before, but but I think it's time to bring in the guests for the day. We got really awesome people in the chat. I see Tim. Tim must have just got done streaming. He was on minutes before we started here. So Tim from TH3D Studios on, Tim Hoagland's on, and TH3D Studios on. 3 people from TH3D. I believe they're all the same guy.
They're invading.
So welcome. Yeah, I was hoping the notifications jump on there too. But without further ado, I think we should bring in Nick and Rob from Makers Mashup. How you guys doing?
How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Another beautiful Monday. It was gorgeous outside here in Wisconsin. But other than that, how about you? How are you guys doing down there? You guys are in like the south of me, right? Janesville or somewhere.
Right. So we're actually right next to Rockford. So we're in the north central Illinois area.
That's right. That's right. So I met you guys at Milwaukee Makers Fair. And I actually took some footage. I did not get the footage up yet. We haven't got it edited yet, but I'm going to show some of the footage I took. We'll get to that in a little bit. But a lot of people here, including me, until I met you, don't know what you guys do. So can you go through that? What do you do? Who you are? Where we can find you? All the good stuff.
Sure. So I'm Rob. This is Nick. And as Makers Mashup, our primary goal was to really create an educational environment for makers. So, and our tagline is free your inner maker. And the idea behind it is that a lot of people want to get into making and they want to be able to build 3D printers, laser cut, electronics, and there's a lot of barriers to that. And I think most of those barriers are that people just don't understand how simple a lot of the technology is, right? So 3D printer, for example, this is one of the builds that we're doing. On our YouTube channel, you can actually see us build this step by step. So it's an educational. We also do STEM projects. We launched at the Milwaukee Maker Fair our waffle maker project, which is designed to give 6th to 12th graders the ability to learn how horizontal expansion works, how to make parts fit together, and teachers really liked it. We had a big response from that, and as a matter of fact, we even won or were awarded the Maker of Merit at the Maker Fair for the STEM project. So, and that's available on our website, which is makersmashup.com. And so we've got a website. We've also got our YouTube channel, and for the most part, our Twitter feed is our main outlet for everything.
So this is a little bit of footage I took when I met you guys, and this is the waffle here that you're talking about. And it was a really cool. It's actually really cool to play with when you're there and check out. And to me, I believe I even said it that day. I was like, it's kind of like the potato. We won't say the potato thing. You know what I'm talking about, though. But it's a waffle, and I love waffles. So.
Yeah, that was really the goal behind it, was to create something that kids would immediately relate to and get into. And the design challenge portion of that project is really for kids to go ahead and use the waffle as the centerpiece. So a person or the waffle maker is just one example of that. We saw somebody else create a spider with it, where they use the legs to make a spider. But the main goal is to just use that as the centerpiece and build off of that and teach kids how to make parts fit together. And the other really great thing about that project is because it is open source and on Tinkercad, as people develop new parts for it, the project grows constantly. So there'll be new parts that are constantly in Tinkercad. And if you just search for waffle maker, you'll see a bunch of parts. And part of our mashup is using different technologies, such as 3D printing and electronics. And Nick, can you grab that foot there that you've got? So as one example, this is a 3D printed part, but what we did, and it's maybe a little bit hard to see, but this has a color changing tea light in it. So it really shows that you can just take regular everyday items, mash them up, and get yourself something cool for kids or adults.
Nice. Well, like I said, I thought just playing with it was really cool. And I'm actually dropping that to load another video that I took. And so we were talking, and I know what drew me over there. I didn't see the waffle until I was talking to you for a minute, but what drew me over was actually a printer. And I think you guys said you guys actually made this printer. I'm going to show it here in a second, but can you talk about the one that you guys have built? It'll be this one right here.
Sure.
And, you guys actually built this, right?
Yeah, so this is 100% our design. Nick and I have been 3D printing now for just about a year. We got into it originally when the prices started to really drop, but as a lot of 3D printer owners will know, is that generally if you buy an inexpensive printer, which is usually the way that most people get into the 3D printing, the first thing you do is spend the next 6 months 3D printing your own parts or upgrading your printer. So unless you're buying a high-end printer right out of the gate, a lot of times you're sitting there upgrading it. So what we said to ourselves was, you know what, we know how all this goes together. Why don't we just build a printer? And we kind of call it the Makers printer, if you will. This one's our X302. And what we're planning on doing with this one, once it's out of the prototype phase, is very much like this one. We'll cover it online in a step-by-step process. So that way, if you wanted to build this printer, you could. And the other thing that we really wanted to do with this is kind of a radical design. Most Coex printers, as you may have seen, are very much based like the hypercube. So they're just a square. My frustration, and Nick felt the same way, is that this one is open. So if you look at the X302, you can see the whole front of it is open, and it's still structurally sound. So we tested to make sure things don't shift around, but it allows you to really just get right out that print and still have a Coex format. So you get the higher speed, and you're not moving the whole mass of your 3D printed object around with a y-axis.
Well, hi, Kat. Well, that was awesome. So,
yeah. Of course, the cat sticks his butt right in the video.
Yeah. Well, this is Guinness. Apparently, he missed his dad, and he thought he would come say hi. All right, then. I mean, that should be good for some views, right?
Oh, yeah. Cats are good. There it is.
There you go. So, yeah, Chris, do you have anything you want to ask him while I take care of a cat here? Come here.
I think the SGC wants to know what they know about the 302.
I'm sorry, I barely heard you. What was the question?
The SGC wants to know what you know about the 302.
You want to know more about
302 is the name of the space fighter on Stargate.
So yeah, so sorry, it's you're a little bit quieter, so it's a little bit harder to hear. So and of course I'm getting old, so my hearing's going. All right, I'm not that old, but so the 302, like I said, Core XY printer, all commodity parts. But one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did with this, along with commodity parts, was make sure that they were quality parts going in there, from the aspect of it's not a standard extruder that you would find like on a Ender 3. We made sure it was a geared extruder. So we put all of that in there, and we really tried to reduce the price point on it. And I think last parts list, you came up with I think just around 500 to build.
Yeah, it depends on kind of where you go from there. So there's a few different things we're still kicking around. So yeah, but we're hoping to get it down that far. But I've built price or parts lists about 500 to 600.
Is that $500 buying one-off parts or bulk?
What was that, sir?
Is that $500 buying one-off parts or bulk?
Oh, that's pretty much one-off parts.
Yeah,
so
that's.
You start buying bulk, you can bring it down quite a bit.
Cheap.
So that's essentially what it would cost for us to buy each piece individually.
And that was really part of the plan. Was we wanted a printer that was economical, and just like this one here that we're building, and this one's kind of the first one that we're doing the YouTube series on. So to flush out the bugs, if you will, in the process of getting this into a format where it's a series on YouTube, we're going to do the same thing with the X302. But this printer really would run you under $200 to build this from scratch. This one's a Cartesian, obviously not a Core XY, but we really wanted to make it so that way if you spent a little bit of money, you got a printer that was considerably better quality than, say, your run-of-the-mill Geetek or Ender 3 or... I mean, those are all good printers. They work great. You know, I've got an Ender here, but we wanted to make it so that way you could build a printer and have something out of the gate that you didn't have to upgrade. So you just start using it, and it works great. The 302 has 2 nozzles, so it is a dual nozzled extruder. Yes, that was an inadvertent side effect of calling it the X302. So Nick and I talked about it, and we wanted to come up with a naming convention that worked well for these. So this is a C201, which means that it's a Cartesian printer with 200 build area and 1 nozzle. The 302, obviously, it's a Core XY, and then 300 by 300 by 300 build volume and 2 nozzles. So that's where the 302 came from.
Nice.
So we come up with numbering.
So a couple of quick things that from the chat. Are you guys? I'm not sure if you're in on the YouTube channel. Are you signed into Are you watching the stream with Makers Mashup channel?
No, but we're actually watching it with my.
We're in the chat, yeah.
We're in the chat, but under my personal.
Okay.
And Rob Meck. So if you see Rob Meck in the chat, that's me.
Okay. And then let's see here. You need to get them cats together to make a 6-pack. That's funny. How is that different? John Strand says, how's that different than the Folger Tech? Do you know what he's talking about there?
So I know the Folger Tech is one of the same type of printers that you manufacture yourself, but I'm not familiar enough with that particular build to really know the differences between the 2 printers.
Yeah, I've looked at them a couple times, but just in the past I've seen them listed.
Right.
They use I think the frame is probably metal.
I think they
use
printer.
like a if it's wood or if it's acrylic or something like that. Some part of the frame is metal as well.
Yeah, and this one's all, for the most part, it's almost all metal parts. The extrusion's all in there. We took a couple of different approaches with it as well, because a lot of times with home-built 3D printers, you find a lot of plastic 3D printed parts, which in and of itself is not a problem, but there are only, I think, 1 or 2 parts on the 3D printer that are plastic that really have anything to do with the movement of the printer. So the stepper mounts are actually aluminum. They're not 3D printed. The whole printer works off linear rails, so it's all linear rails there. The bed is actually made of extrusion as well. So we tried to make something that was pretty solid.
Nice.
Yeah, and someone had asked about Cartesian versus Core XY, and I think Core XY has a lot of advantages. I mean, especially with like the printer over here, like with the Cartesian, the bed moves. So every little bit of weight you add to the bed, so if you want to add a glass plate or anything like that, you're going to add weight. That's going to affect the prints and the speed that advantage of Coex Y is much lighter head weight and gives you that ability to bring the bed down without moving.
And even if
The
it's
whole thing
not
doesn't
lighter
shake
head
as
weight,
much.
your kinematics don't change in mass as you print.
Yep. Yeah, it's very
Right.
it's more of a
Consistent.
consistent thing. Like X and Y are the same, so it's very cool. And the way it works is really neat. There's a lot of belt.
It has
But-
cool factor to it.
Yeah.
You can't discredit the cool factor.
But the belt all fits
Right.
pretty much in the frame, so it's not anything crazy. But yeah, I think overall, it's just the printer is going to shake a lot less. There's a lot less moving weight, so you can actually do the direct drive without much of the backlash.
My Sapphire is the only printer
So,
I have that
Wait,
can
someone wanted to see
run
the printer
STL,
closer. Is this
come back 24 hours later, start a second STL to print on top of the first STL, and it still works.
Nice.
And the other thing we do too is both Nick and I do a lot of the modeling on all of these. There are, in the case of the 302, all the parts are we developed. So all the parts on that we did all the CAD modeling for. This one, there's a lot of parts on it that are just run of the mill. You can either get them as part of the AM8 project, and so in this particular case, this one, because we were trying to use commodity parts and not reinvent a Cartesian printer, you'll see a lot of the same similar parts, but then this one still has a lot of unique parts here too. This is actually not just the display board, but it is the case and then the actual control board. As I said, we're still building this one, will fit in here completely. So
Nice.
we modeled this as a three-piece case for this, so that way you can have the display, the electronics, a fan, silent steppers, the whole 9 yards, all in the same case here. So you don't have it. A lot of 3D printers, you find a control box that's separate. We kind of wanted it all into one, and then it sits right on top of the printer. So we do a lot of our own modeling for all of the printers and that we build.
That's so cool. So as someone asked, John did, what board are you using?
So both this one and the 302 run the SKR13, which is more or less the, I don't want to say popular board, but it seems to be the one that everyone's having a lot of focus with lately. It's a 32-bit board. What was the processor on that one?
It's an LPC. Yeah, it's 32-bit, 100 megahertz, I believe. The board's got a lot of uses like the step stick style modules, so you can pop those in there, so you can use any sort of
LPC 1768.
yeah. So
There you go.
That's the one.
Thank you, Plasma.
He's a smart cookie. So we got people in the chat from all over the world right now, and I know Plasma's. Remind me where you're from, Plasma. I know we've talked about that before, but I know there's people like that are like up way late watching us right now, and I'm looking at the chat going, "Oh, he's probably should." It's like 2:00 in the morning there. But someone asked what your target market is. I'm not sure if you guys really have a market, right? I think you're doing this open source.
Right, so it is open source, but the target market, if you will, is really makers, right? So people that want to build a printer, want a better printer, or want a printer that they can build, understand the build, that's the education portion of it, and then have something that if they decide that they want to upgrade it or change it, they don't have to deal with sometimes design limitations. And I'll use the Ender 3 as a great example. So the Ender 3, while a great printer, there's a lot of proprietary brackets on it. So if you wanted to change something in the way the carriage worked, you have to replace the whole carriage. With this design and that design, it's all more or less generic. So I kind of look at it as if you've ever done your own PC build, all the parts are pretty much generic, and you put in there exactly what you want. So if you didn't necessarily want a geared extruder, you've got the ability that when you build the printer to put a traditional one in, or whichever one that you can afford, or whichever one that you prefer. So
Right.
we kind of like that approach because we're both Nick and I have a background in software engineering, and reusability is really big for us. So that's why we wanted to make something a little bit more open, if you will.
We're
Nice.
using Marlin firmware and all that stuff as well. So we get into that. We update it. That's all in the 2.0 stuff. So for us,
Nice.
there's a lot of tinkering involved. So
And you're submitting patches to Marlin.
Yeah,
We've
small
submitted,
ones. Yeah.
so we're contributing to Marlin's code as well.
But yeah, the big thing for us is, I think anyone can really build it, especially this printer. Like, I think there's nothing too crazy there, and it's trying to get people who maybe think that a kit would be difficult, trying to have actually good, solid
Better
information
view
available.
there.
Yeah.
And this one looks very much like an AM8, very similar. So there's nothing really too special in the sense of how this one was put together. You don't need to buy a proprietary H plate. We did this with extrusion, so you can just buy yourself 2020 extrusion. We did find a place that's local to us, right down the road, that sells the extrusion pretty
Most
cheap.
people probably know it, assuming it's like where we're buying it. Yeah, their extrusion is quite
Nice.
It's fine. Like we've gotten quite a few pieces of it. It's always been cut really well.
Yeah,
perfectly.
And the nice plate, and we're of course not trying to plug them or anything. We're just public service announcement. They do cut everything exactly the way that you want it. So if you need 5 pieces of this, and they don't charge for cutting it. So so it's great. So if you just want to order the part, you order what you want. Matter of fact, I buy them in 1 meter lengths and cut them here myself. So
that's cool. So I know we had a few people in chat that he's from Turkey. So Plasma is from Turkey. Andrew S is all the way from Scotland. And I mean, like I said, there's people all over, but where they're actually Techie Dad, welcome. They're actually from Makers Mashup. What company? I think he was asking what company cuts the extrusion.
Oh, that's Masumi. So can you type that in the chat so that way we can?
Yeah, perfect. Robin Mack, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming out. Hopefully, you're feeling better. But we got some really, really, fun people in the chat. But I got to ask Nerys. So you were talking for a long time about building a printer. Maybe we should team you guys up and we can make the Nerys, the actual Nerys, instead of the the one you dubbed the Nerys.
I don't know if I have sufficient knowledge to be able to build a printer yet.
That's why I said we could team up with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly, I mean, you just hit it on the head, Jim. That is exactly the reason why we're doing this video. So, and matter of fact, I felt very rewarded the other day. Someone had posted in the comments of the YouTube videos that watching our video helped them solve the problem with the build that they were working on. So that was exactly the purpose of putting these together.
Nice.
And that's part of it, the education. I think that's kind of our focus.
But
more people to print, more people to understand it. When you build it from scratch, you kind of understand it more, and to modify it, then it's less scary, I guess.
Well, and you really said it at the Maker Faire that there's so many different people out doing this, in the sense of there's a lot of people that have YouTube channels that are, hey, here's what I did. And Teaching Tech, I think, is a good one, that they give you some of the instruction for specific projects of to do with the 3D printer. But we really felt like that there's still a huge gap in education for how 3D printers are put together, how they're built, and that was really a big gap that I think and you were talking about that, in that there's just so many few people that are really teaching you how the 3D printers are built and designed, and what the purpose of the parts are.
Right, and I know there's some people in the chats actually who was there and met you. I think Matt Akuma Mods, I think he may have got over by you guys. I know Blasto Supreme was over by you. If you're in the chat and you're at the Milwaukee Maker Faire and met these guys, let them know. I know a couple of you did already, but we missed it going by.
Yeah, I know someone had mentioned we were across the large Delta printer.
Right, it was a lot of fun. You guys had a really cool setup. So I got to ask Chris, when you build your machine, in your streams, those of us who've watched you for a long time kind of have an idea of things you would want on your machine, right? But if you were going to build a machine, what would you put on it?
I don't know. I'm a keep it simple kind of person. I mean, my machines, I don't modify machines too much unless the modifications are needed. I like modifying. I had a whole lot of fun printing mods and stuff like that for my Wanhals, but for the most part, I want them to work. I want them to do work for me and make parts. I just want them to, make stuff. So I would go for something hyper simple, something that's just, I don't know. That's what I say. I mean, if I were to design a printer right now, if somebody said design a printer, it'd probably look like an Ender 3 or an Ender 5.
But it would be orange.
Yes, not the orange.
So
Bright orange. RBO.
What orange filament do you? Who's orange filament?
This is Filamentum's flash orange, and that's pretty close to RBO. So I like that.
Nice.
Eccentric Nut says more orange than a Prusa, LOL.
The Prusa orange is pretty good.
Yeah, we're definitely we got some orange on this one over here. So.
Yeah, Danny was going. That's my nephew's building. This was going kind of for the Halloween theme here, so it's black and orange parts on this one.
Nice. So, are you guys going to IRF at all?
We are not.
You're
So
not going
there's not enough time to really prepare and be there for that one. But definitely going to probably do it next year. We'll do the Midwest one here for sure. So it's a matter of planning for next year.
Murph was a blast last year. It was my first time. There you go. Is that the pumpkin?
No, that's I got that at the thrift store. But that's the black orange.
That's the orange. That's right. So I went down Murph for the first time this year. I met Chris there, and we're just going out to IRF to walk around and film. I'm not going to have any display or table. I learned at Milwaukee Maker Faire if I want to film, I shouldn't have a table. It was really busy, especially Saturday. It was really busy, and
yeah, it was. It was really a great event. I definitely liked it. I'm a member of the Rockford Makerspace here in Illinois, and we were at the Elkhorn Mini Maker Faire. I think it was September. I think it was like September, and it was very busy as well, but not nearly as crazy as Milwaukee. That was just a lot of people.
It was really fun, and I'm glad I got to walk over right before the show started on Sunday and say, "Hey, can I film with you guys quick?"
Yeah, no, that was great. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having us today. That was very nice.
And we love, that's what this show is all about, just showing what people in our community are doing. This community is so cool. There's so many people doing so many things, and until that show, I've never seen you, never been to your website or your YouTube, and then I walked by your table and I was like, wow, you guys built this? This is awesome, and you had some really cool printers, then the waffle project, and I think you guys had a little CNC machine too.
Yep. I've got a small 3018 CNC here, which I upgraded with a trim router from the standard small 775 motor. So it's really from a rinky-dink motor to something that I was able to mill aluminum with. So it's I'm very much grabbing something, and there you go. Yeah. So that's been modified with the trim router, and that little dog paw bottle opener was cut on that machine. So
that's the one we're talking about there. Well, I'm going to leave it sit here just for a second because we have a cat jumping up, and then he just knocked over my camera. Get down. Come on. That was awesome.
Says, pay attention to me.
It's exactly what he's saying. There we go. So it was funny. When I was showing that, he jumped up here, and my camera's on a monopod that has feet on it. And all of a sudden, I was like, it was awesome.
And that's a pretty sweet camera, I got to say. When I was a little envious when you came around filming.
Oh, my. The one I film with is where is it? It's a Canon DSLR.
Yeah.
That one, it's fun to film with. I'd never had it on this monopod before. And actually, right now, I'm only using a 930, a Logitech C930 here. But thank you. I appreciate that. It's fun. I'm getting used to using it. So that's always fun. Chris actually uses his phones to do most of his videos and his streams and everything. And if anyone ever wanted to get in this, especially because you could use your phone on StreamYard too, he's doing it right now. But using your phone to get into this or stay into this is great. I mean, you can talk a little more about that, but anyone can do it.
We use the phone for ours as well. So,
sorry, Chris. What was that?
I said we use a phone as well. So we just started doing this at the beginning of the year. So we're still relatively new to publishing on YouTube, but we use a phone as well. And I've been talking to my wife about possibly using her camera to start filming some videos. So
right. And I'll jump over back to Chris. I apologize. What you were saying? You used the Motorola.
I got a Motorola Z2 Force only because it works with my Osmo Pocket. My V20 didn't work with the Osmo Pocket. And it turns out the front-facing camera on the Z2 Force is actually shockingly good. Very clean video, even in dim light. Nice.
Did you see that? Someone said, Michael Castle said, my cat overlord is mispleased. That's hilarious.
The V40's also got a pretty good front-facing camera.
That's the one you used for a long time until you got the Osmo, right?
No, I got the V20. I have like
V20.
4 of those.
That's right.
And I've been playing with the V40. I'm not a fan of it because you can't change the battery. And
that's right.
A problem for me. But I got it for $150, so I'm willing to gamble on that.
Right. So anyone in the chat, if you have questions, shoot them out there for myself, for the guys at Makers Mashup. We have Rob and Nick. You want to tell which one's which? I know which one's which. Do you want to tell everybody who's who?
I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob.
All right. There we go. We got that over with.
Yeah, someone had a question about the inspirations for the 302. Yes. I don't know. Nothing in particular comes to mind. I don't know if you had any particular inspiration.
I think the one thing that I liked about it was as far as inspiration was that I did see the hypercube and I thought that looked really cool, but it just looked like a cube. So I mean, I'm sure it works great. I've not built one, but wanted something different, something a little more unique, and that was really, I think, a lot of the driving.
Yeah, I think as we've gone along, it's evolved significantly from the original kind of thoughts and things of that nature. So from inspiration to our thoughts, we just change things as we go. So
and it started out, which is interesting enough. It started out as a plastic extrusion printer. It started out as a plastic cube. Matter of fact.
Yeah, we were printing extrusions for prototyping purposes. So that was fun.
That's awesome. So, and while he's running, it looks like he's grabbing something real quick. But there you go. Nice.
So this was the original. I kept this around obviously because, well, it kind of history. But so the X302 actually started out. We started prototyping, and this is 3D printed extrusion. It's great if you want to prototype something and you don't have to go out and buy metal extrusion, which obviously is very pricey. But yeah, so that's how that started.
Nice. So you guys are in Illinois, right?
Yep.
Matt just asked where you guys are located. So he said Plasma says, is that your first prototype?
Yeah, that was the very first prototype that we started with plastic because
we actually put parts on that too.
We actually got it printing on that. Printing originally.
The very first print we did was on that.
It wasn't a good print. Yeah. It wasn't good at all. It was an awful print.
It wasn't very fast either.
Nice.
But it worked.
Too funny. like I said earlier, we don't acknowledge Jake from State Farm.
Why not?
I'm just playing. He always, when he jumps in the chats, he usually says, "Acknowledge me, acknowledge me, acknowledge me." So I acknowledged him passively. No.
When you go, you've been acknowledged. Kick.
Right. Here. And Tim from TH3D says, I have too many printers.com. He could start a website and sell some of your printers, Chris.
Actually, on that topic, selling printers is surprisingly difficult. You know, let's say I have this printer I want to sell, and this printer brand new is $300. Right? So I say, okay, I'll sell it for $150, right? But then it's $100 to ship it. Now it's $250. No one wants to pay that because a brand new one's $50 more. I'll give you $50 for it. I was like, and by the time I pay the credit card fees and the shipping and the packaging and the handling, I'm making like 30 or 40 bucks. I got more value out of the printer sitting it on my table and using it. So unless I can find somebody to sell this locally to, it's really, really hard to sell printers through the mail.
Especially, what's funny is you can go to, oops, wrong button. You can go to any of like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever, and you can find Ender 3s for $220. It's like, time out here.
It's $209 on Amazon.
Woot had a deal. Was it Woot that had a deal today for
had a deal? Was it today or
$179
$170?
Yeah.
$170. And so I'm just like, you guys are killing me. I mean, the Prusas too. They're just rough. As far as trying to get them resale. If you get one, they're like, they want $700 for a Prusa. It's like, I could buy a kit and build it myself for that.
Yeah.
Oops.
And then $100 to ship it.
Right.
Yeah, for $700 you could build the 302 and the 201.
Yeah.
Right.
Have two printers.
What time we got? Oh, we got 15 minutes. We're still good. So I'm just looking through chats. Like, again, if you guys have any questions, shoot them out there. So Makers, I was going to call you both Makers Mashup. There you go. Do you guys, I know you guys before this stream, you're new to Nerys, or you're new to Chris over here. He does unboxings and epic long build videos where he talks to and hangs out with the chat and spends 6-7 hours building a machine and doing it in front of everybody. At the same time, he has another camera and he records clips to send back to the company for feedback. And maybe, I mean, I was just curious if you guys had any questions for him. He does a ton of stuff too. I know you guys don't know each other very well, but go ahead and shoot between there if you want to. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take myself out just for a second. I'll be right back. Or I'm going to put myself in. There we go.
So Chris, tell me a little bit. How did you get started with 3D printing?
I had a YouTube channel long before I did 3D printing, and my YouTube channel wasn't monetized. I'll get back to that in a second. That was an interesting story. I fly rockets, so I love taking pictures of rockets. I love flying rockets. I love putting cameras in rockets. And one of the more expensive components in rocketry is nose cones. They're expensive. They're $10 to $50 a piece for the smaller ones. And so I got my first 3D printer, a MakerBot Mini, super cheap on eBay. And then I went to a Wanhao i3V2 to make nose cones. So if I make 20 nose cones, I just paid for the printer. And then I was making these videos with the 3D printing on YouTube, not monetized. I was just doing it. It was fun to do. I'm the kind of guy where if you're not sharing all this knowledge and data you're gathering, you're wasting your time. And what's the point? I go to a launch and I take 3,000 pictures of people's rockets. What's the point if I don't share them?
Right.
Yep.
No one's ever going to see it. So I just post all these videos to YouTube, and then someone said, not someone, what was his name? Oh, I'm trying to remember his name. I want to say Tim or Rob, but somebody contacted me and says, "Hey, would you like a free printer?" And I was like, "Yeah, right. What's the catch?" He's like, "Nothing. You just make a video and we'll send you a printer." And it was somebody from GearBest. And I was like, "Okay, he's not asking for a credit card, so let's see what happens." What's the worst? Nothing, right? And a CR10 shows up. I'm like, "Okay." And then another one, and another one, and another one, and 110 printers later, I got number 5 out in the bus. That's going to be this Wednesday's video if I could dig it out. I got a Solval SV01 sitting right there. That's going to be next week's printer. And it exploded from there. And when I found out I could make money doing this, I was in a position where I was pretty bad off. I mean, I was a couple of months from losing the house. My brother was stealing enormous amounts of money from the business, and I couldn't do anything about it. It's complicated dealing with probate and ownership of the house. It got very complicated quickly when the city did some weird stuff. And the YouTube channel saved my ass. I happened to log into AdSense. I'd tried monetizing years earlier, and the little thing says you made 20 cents. And I was like, screw this. I'm not going to put ads on a basis for 20 cents. It's not even worth the time it takes me to tell it to put ads on the video. Well, I logged into the AdSense account and there's $450 waiting for me. Those 6 videos that I monetized 4 or 5 years earlier had just been sitting there accruing tiny bits of money over time. And there's $450 sitting in the account. So I was like, oh my God, this could work. I could actually make money doing this. And that became my 3rd full-time job.
Right. And you do a lot of really good videos on building, and you give a lot of good tips. One thing that Chris is really good, I keep going this way or this way, but one thing that Chris is really good about is watching his chat and answering questions when we ask him questions. And when I first jumped into this, I was watching Teaching Tech. I was watching Chris. I was watching Nerys' channel, really, Chris. And I was watching a couple other people, and I'm like, this is pretty awesome, right? And then you just start you feel like you start to get to know people, and then you meet them in real life, and you realize like I think I even said to you at Murph, it's like, it's funny because we feel like we know you. Well, you've talked to us like twice on a stream, but that was a lot of fun. I know One Bad Marine is in the stream in the chat right now, and he's the one that really got my YouTube channel going. And because I started filming his guide, and his help guide for the Creality printers is just awesome. I don't know if you guys have ever had a chance to talk to Luke, but we get him on here sometimes, and his help guide is just an immense help for people with the Creality and Enders. Just one second here. I think we have hey, Tim.
All right, quad display.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim from TH3D is in the house.
I didn't have my hat on. I'm due for a haircut.
Oh, that looks like the wrong hat.
Take my bus hats out of the bus.
I don't think you can be on this stream with wearing that hat. You need to change your hat. No.
Quite a few different hats. Hang on.
I think you have a better one. Anyway, so Tim I was on his stream earlier, and he had to postpone because he had internet trouble. And he's like, I'll be back at I'll wait till he puts his earphones on because he just put my hat on. There we go. That's a better hat.
Is that better?
Yeah. So he said on his thing, I'll postpone my stream, and he said 6 o'clock. All of a sudden, I'm getting chats and emails saying, hey, Tim's going to stream at the community showcase time. You should talk to him. I'm like, it's okay. We'll talk. But I really appreciate the heads up. And then your internet came back. You streamed.
Thank God.
Have you
Our
guys,
LTE is terrible.
you guys are in Illinois. Tim used to be in Illinois, but
Yeah, we escaped.
Have you guys dealt with TH3D? Have you heard of TH3D? Nice. Have you guys dealt with TH3D or Tim, or have you heard about him?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, interesting story. When we were upgrading our Ender, the TH3D firmware was one of the was like the first firmware we had upgraded our Ender with. So yeah, totally familiar.
That's good. So you don't have to worry about it murdering you in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that was a big reason. Yeah, the firmware runaway was like, oh my God, it's gonna burn my house down.
Yeah, of course, and it is a real concern.
Oh yeah.
But when you use a printer and you know that it doesn't have that protection, it suddenly becomes far bigger of a concern, even if it wasn't. You know,
right?
Yep. Yeah, you like
Hey, Chris, do you like my shirt?
I can't quite tell what it says.
It looks like you're trying to show you.
I see a wine glass and I see an umbrella. Not enough resolution. I can't read it.
Oh, it's a side of a Corelli box. It says "Afraid of Wet."
Oh, the chief evangelist. I saw that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go back and edit that out where it's just Tim sticking his chest up. That
It was
amazing.
PG-13. We're good.
No, we're good. I'm just saying that was amazing.
I do have to give reality credit.
You're
They
gonna
are the
create the
first
meme
Chinese
and set it on a
manufacturer
loop.
to
Is
actually
that
start
the?
listening to people.
That's true. Chris just said to Creality's credit, they're the first Chinese manufacturer that started listening to people.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
If I'm going to recommend a Chinese brand, that's the one I do push. I would at the show even. It was like everyone who asked, it was like that's the one, and I'm like, yeah, they're pretty good. They just released the new CR10V2, which looks pretty.
ANET does have thermal protection on their A8 Plus and E16, so they are listening.
A little shout out to Naomi Wu, actually. Some knowledge that she gave me has actually helped with my channel. Insights into how the Chinese operate. It's actually really, really fascinating. The Chinese corporate system is kind of like a mix between the Indian caste system and the Japanese saving face system, but without the honor. So Chinese manufacturers have difficulty taking advice from people over here because we are considered inferiors. Not inferiors like you're less than human, but like boss to employee, employee to customer. And so taking advice from customer would be losing face. So when I interact with these Chinese manufacturers, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a systems analyst engineer.
You should all
figure it out. I will give you feedback on how to correct it. And I also happen to have a side job where I post this stuff on YouTube. And by presenting myself as a level that is equal to them, they can take my advice without losing face. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal over there.
You should, if you guys haven't, there's a book called Poorly Made in China. It's on Audible. If you listen to that, everything will just start clicking into place why these companies operate the way they do.
What's the name of it again?
Poorly Made in China.
I'm not getting that first word.
Poorly.
Poorly. Poorly.
Yeah, poorly.
So,
Nice.
No, Jim was saying he's gonna have to edit out the part with the shirt. But I mean, this is more entertaining. Ready? See, thermal camera. And it look, it can cool it down.
Hey, here's something interesting. Reality has such a hard time doing English manuals.
What was that?
Do you know why Creality has such a hard time making a good quality English manual?
Why is that?
Because none of them speak English, and they can't train any of them to speak English. Because the
Why not?
ability to speak quality engineering English is such a valuable skill in China that if they invest the money to teach one of their employees how to speak quality English, they're gone like that because they can get better work, better pay.
Nice.
So they're stuck in a catch-22 where they can't hire somebody. It's too expensive. It's too valuable a trait. And they can't teach somebody or have somebody learn because they'll leave immediately for better work, for better pay. So they're stuck in this catch-22 with Chinglish.
Right.
It's weird.
That,
The market
that
over there is like
definitely
the wild
closes the race
west of
cube.
capitalism.
Yeah.
Right. I'll tell you what.
Is my audio too loud? Someone's saying my audio is loud.
You're a little loud. You sound like you're clipping a little. Yeah. Anyways, while we're all talking, I want to give away a roll of Coex Mystery Filament in the chat. I'm going to make it super simple. Let's just do Coex 3D. Go ahead and hit that now. Everybody in the chat, go ahead and start typing Coex 3D, and we'll give that away pretty quick here. There we go. But yeah, I think that's interesting. I think I bet that's a very high sought after thing to be able to speak English, over there. And that would be sweet to go over and just tour the manufacturers.
Yeah, the manual we got with the Ender, like it was mostly pictures. There was a few little bits of text here and there, but yeah, it does make it a little bit more difficult to follow. So, as easy as it is to put together, it's like you have to kind of follow these directions, which are sometimes not worded very well.
The worst one. So, and we did a video. The video's on our channel. We did a video. We got online on Amazon $100 3D printer, and it was clearly the company was out of business. It was called a raised cube.
Right.
The instructions were so bad.
They were printed.
They
Yeah.
not just the English bad, but it was they were so far off of it. Just was they weren't helpful at all,
There was
and they were
steps.
missing everything, and it was pretty pretty hilarious to try to put that printer together. I actually have I talk about the 3 screw principle a lot of times with Nick. It seems that a lot of things that come out of some of the China printers and that they do something that's really good, but they only put 3 screws in instead of the 4th one that would make it awesome. And I call it the 3 screw principle because it's like that you get a printer and it's really great. And if they would have just done this and put that 4th screw in, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, it's always that one little extra thing they could have done. You know, it's that last little bit of attention to detail. You know, because some of this stuff's cheaper quality, but it's if they would have with that one extra bit. You know, it would have been fun. You know, that one little bit that's messing up the hot end or the extruder or whatever.
So just a quick heads up, about 10 more seconds. About 10 more seconds for Coex 3D, and we'll give that away. Also, I've got to clarify. Whoa, we got a cool echo going. I got to clarify from One Bad Marine. I think he just said that Crowdy might be at IRF with us this year. I believe Crowdy is sponsoring his trip to IRF, actually, and that would be really cool if they showed up and we could meet some of them.
I mean, they should. He does enough work for them.
Yeah, he does. He does a ton.
I kind of have
Hey, look at that.
Nerys printer.
There we go.
It's
I believe that's Colin. I think Colin, congratulations. What was that? Go ahead, Chris.
I said I kind of have a Nerys printer. It's
Yeah.
called the Ender 3 Pro.
Yeah.
They basically took every bit of advice I gave them and put it in it. They talked to me at Murph year before.
That's awesome.
I spent like an hour and a half talking to them through their translator, of course, showing them this is the problem. I would change this. This is the problem. I would change this. And they came out with the Ender 3 Pro with pretty much every single modification in it.
Nice. Colin, email. I'm 100%. I'm pretty sure that's Colin. You can tell me if it's not in the chat. But congratulations on winning the filament. Wendy just chimed in and said, go ahead and email her. You can email her directly, and she can get that taken care of for you. So you don't have to email me if you don't want to. If you want to, it's just Jim@theedgeoftech.com. theedgeoftech.com, and you can always shoot me an email there. Otherwise, Wendy also said that you could email her directly and just tell them who you are and that you won. That means not everybody email Wendy and say that you won. No, I think she'll catch on to that. But thanks, Wendy from Coex, from watching. Oh, Tim's back. Sorry. There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think Firefox doesn't play nice with StreamYard because it was getting very choppy. I don't know if my audio sounds any better now.
Much better.
Yeah, it's better.
Oh, it's on my speakers. Oh boy, hang on.
Nice. So, but yeah,
There
we
we
give away some Coex filament twice a month, at least 2 rolls of the mystery filament a month, and yeah, it's really good stuff. I gave actually while we were at. Oh, hang on. I gotta allow it. While we were at Milwaukee Maker Faire, Blasto was there, and I gave him a roll of the Sparkle Silver to check out. I had about a half a roll, and he's like, I never used it. And I was like, try it. This stuff is awesome. So really cool stuff.
Their iced amethyst is really nice.
Where is, I don't have it down here. We did Lindsay's, my wife's lightsaber in that iced amethyst color. And that was actually in, I have it right here. That was in the Alien 3D box this year.
Yeah, I just watched that last night.
And it is some really good stuff.
I've got a roll of their Green Bay Green and Green Bay Yellow here to print some Packer stuff for Samantha on a dual extrusion.
Nice. I just shot you a comment there. I don't know if you saw that, but I don't know if I can actually show how cool this color is. I don't think I can. It's like a it's like a purple.
It's hard to see on
black.
camera. It's
Yeah.
it's like purple, and then as you change angles, it turns almost like a metallic gray, and there's
Right.
flecks in it. It's
all-
one of those ones you have to see in person.
Sure.
I
So
wish
know-
they had some silk filaments because, like, I love the silk PLAs. This is 3D Salutec, and
Tech is amazing. 21
Yeah.
bucks.
Like the Salutec filament, Tim?
so here's the thing, and this is the only problem with the silk, and this is any brand. The additives they use to make this shiny, this is like way weaker than standard PLA. So like I printed some hot end parts.
Quite correct.
Well, I can tell you right now.
Filaments are actually significantly stronger than PLA. You can't break them with your hands, but the interlayer bonding is almost non-existent.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. So they're not the prints you get are not going to be as strong with these as you would with regular PLA.
But you can counter that. Use a larger nozzle, print hotter, and you won't be able to tell the strength difference.
I've printed hotter. The only thing is most of my printers have the 0.4s. I do have an Alphawise U10 that's all decked out. I got a 0.8 Volcano on there. So
It's where you start to see the benefits.
yeah, well, but the thing is, for average users, it's going to be a weaker part. For your normal people that print with a 0.4, I'm just throwing that out there. That be aware of the silk. Like I've tried this, the Arion. The Arion has the best layer adhesion of the silk filaments. Filament or not filamentum? Is it? You know what I'm talking about. I've tried Atomics. Theirs are good. Right. I have Atomics here. What was the first one? Polyalchemy Elixir. The layer adhesion on that is the worst out of all the silk. I'd say this is in between them. If I had to rank them, I'd say Atomic, but Atomics, their silk isn't as silky. So it's got a sheen to it, but yeah, but it's not like this. Like just look at that. Look how the color, like look how the light bounced off those facets. Like,
yeah.
Overall, do you like the Salutec filaments? Do you buy a lot of those?
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't had any issues with them. They're kind of our backup for like our print farm. We print about 50 to 60 rolls of black PLA and ABS every month, and they're kind of my backup when we don't time it right and get our mass shipment in. I use a lot of stuff from this small guy named it's BD3D Customs, and I use them. I did use Coex for a while, but I was having some inconsistencies with the batches, and their support was great. I'm not going to knock their support, but I just didn't have time to sit there and troubleshoot. And when you're running through 50, 60 rolls a month, that $9 to $10 a month extra roll versus other brands, it adds up, and it's like, well, if I'm going to deal with inconsistencies, I'd rather save the money and deal with inconsistencies.
Yeah, I've bought just through liking the filament. I've bought a lot of their filament. As a matter of fact, little known fact, I reached out to them before the Milwaukee Maker Faire, and they actually sponsored the filament for the waffle maker project. So they were kind enough to send us 6 rolls of the orange so we could print that. So I've had good success with it. I actually heard a couple of people at the Milwaukee Maker Faire that said they didn't have real good success. So now I'm just kind of asking around because I thought it's worked fine for me. So we
printed. So my only complaint with 3D Salutec is more cosmetic. I did have some rolls that while diameter was consistent, it wasn't spooled very well. I didn't have any issues with tangling or kinks, but you open it up and the windings are all over the place.
Yeah.
It's presentation wise, it's not that great. I mean, you can see here, like I always make sure we keep our ends on here. It's not spooled the best. It's not pretty, but you know what? I haven't had a tangle with this roll. Like I opened this roll about, I don't know, a month and a half ago. And I've been printing random stuff with it. But like I printed a Hero Me mount, which you can see on my Ender 3 right behind me in the corner there. And when I was putting the mount on, one of the ducts cracked along the layer lines because the adhesion wasn't that great. And that was printed at 235C. But I just busted out my 3D gloop and put it back together.
This is actually on my 3D printer. So if you could see it, I picked up their PLA Plus just to try it out. And this one's actually, they wind this one like you would expect, like a hatch box or something else. So if you haven't tried it, I was surprised to find the same issue that you have. I've got an orange here that has the the same
It's-
whining problem you talk about there, but I was surprised.
I wouldn't call it a problem. It's cosmetic, you know, and
exactly.
some people get all hung up on that. Me, at the end of the day, what I care about is, does it work? You know what I mean? Like, does it print well? Does it melt consistently? You know, and any film manufacturer can have issues, you know, batch to batch. The difference is if they step up, and, you know, like I said, we did have some issues with Coex, but they did step up. I got tired of screwing around with it and, you know, sending rolls. But for the most part, their small stuff, like their individual color rolls, no problems with them whatsoever.
Yeah, I get it. And it's not because they're a sponsor, because they're a sponsor of this channel, because I use so much of their filament. I reached out and I said, hey, I you know, do you guys want to check this out? Do you want to give some filament away on the channel? But I got to say, like you just said, I've never had a problem with the Coex, and they're close to me, right? So they're only about 45 minutes north of me. And I did a video where we actually did a tour. So I got to go through the process with them, and it was really cool to see. Obviously, if you get a chance to do any filament tours, do it. Just how it's made is super cool. But I just really it's like butter. When it's printing and it's printing good, it is printing like butter. And I know
That's a good way to put it. Like, it does. Like, when I've had, like, you know, we're a different use case. We're buying, you know, 50, 60 rolls, you know, and the problem is if they have one bad batch, we get all those rolls in a bad batch versus, you know, your average person buying 2 rolls here, 3 rolls there, you know, you're probably not going to have any issues. And if you do, their support will, you know, send you out a new roll.
Right.
So
they're really good with that. And I know they brought Wendy on recently. I'm not sure if she's still in the chats or not. They brought her on recently, and I know they're, you know, really working to get that stuff out, and they're actually working on some new colors. I know they came up with a really sweet red PETG now, and some other stuff. But all of that aside, while we're all talking, why don't we go through? I know we're a little bit over time here, so we'll start with Chris. Chris, go ahead. Let us know where we can find you, who you are, and all the good stuff.
I'm your local victimizer on the internet. You can find me at todays3dprint.com or lifeofnerys.com. Nice.
How about you guys? Makers Mashup. Can you tell us, everybody, where we can find you? If you guys, I know I put your website URL, if I could talk, in the description. But where can we find you? And how about one more time for people that weren't here when you first came on, who you are, what you do, and all the good stuff.
Sure. So makersmashup.com is a website. We also have our YouTube, which is Maker Mashup, and our Twitter, which is Makers Mashup. Basically, what we do is a lot of education. We want to get more people into making things, not just 3D printers. We do a lot of electronics. We do CNC. We do laser cutting. And we have a Discord channel, which is more or less a virtual maker space. You can go in there, talk to different makers, and we're really just about collaboration and getting more people into making things and breaking down those barriers to getting things done. And I think that's just a lot of people just don't know how easy it is to build a 3D printer. So that's what we're all about, and we want to help everybody start making cool stuff. Nice.
So while you were doing that, I was getting a drink real quick. That's why I blew you up. I just told on myself. I got this. I was like, that is sweet. So what Chris is showing is a new print that's been going around. It's kind of the viral thing right now.
That's going to be a meme. Just a GIF of Chris. Just
yes.
How about this?
Yes.
If I could spell here, let's see. There we go. So I know we still have a lot of people in chat, and I know, like I said, we're a little over. While we're talking, Tim, I know I brought you in a little late. You were in the chat. It was so funny because I think you were still live, and a couple people were like, "Hey, Tim's still on. Tim's still on." I said, go over there and tell him to shut down.
Samantha came and knocked on my door. Was like, "Hey, it's past 6. Jim's starting to stream."
Oh, nice.
And I told everybody to come over here.
I appreciate that. What's really cool about this community is that a lot of us try not to do that. We try not to step on each other's streams because there is a ton of us out there. And I highly suggest go check out Makers Mashup, the website, the YouTube channel that's going now, anywhere you can find them. But as you guys will see too, there's a ton of people, and we usually see a huge group of the same people bouncing around the streams. And if it's a day that has many streams, you'll talk to the same people all day. It's so fun.
Well, to be fair, I would have started my stream earlier, but literally as soon as I hit go live, Streamlabs went, can't connect to server. And then I refreshed my browser. I was like, you got to be kidding. My internet's down like right now. It's like the third time Comcast has screwed me on a stream, like even at our old location.
I think what really happened is you took down the internet.
Yes. You've figured out
single-handedly.
Just couldn't process all these frames per second coming out of my box.
I love that. So Tim, before you go, I know we were talking a little bit and I want to share this. We are going to do another giveaway, and let's see if I can bring this up here. There we go. So we were talking a little bit, and how about a Creality Essential PTFE upgrade pack from TH3D? We're going to give this away, and it can be used on any machine that needs, obviously the couplers and the tough tube.
Depending on what couplers they have. So those are spec'd out, like your smaller ones, those are for your stock extruder, and the other ones are for your hot end. So, but yeah, the tubes are universal. But those are the tighter tolerance ones too, and high temp.
Yeah, they're awesome. I have them on almost all my printers. I just ran out, and I had to use some Capricorn. But don't tell Tim.
We don't say the C word.
Spoiler alert: Tim also sponsors the stream here, and we were very gracious for that. And so he's going to do that. So I'm going to type this in. We're going to do one more while we're doing this last giveaway. I'll let Tim say where he's from. I think we all know, most of us do. How about Tough Tim? So in here, go ahead, everybody, hit Tough Tim in the chat. It'll pop up there in a second. I did it through StreamYard, so it has a small delay. But
tough. I'm Tim. My wife and I run TH3D Studio. We also have a small army of minions here that help us get all your orders out and your products checked, everything. We sell right now tons of upgrades, replacement parts. So basically anything goes out on your printer, check out our site, th3dstudio.com. We carry fans, power supply, motherboards, auto bed leveling kits, extruders, hot ends, nozzles. Like pretty much we try to cover the gamut of what kind of parts you're going to need to keep your printer running. And, you can always, rest easy that you're not playing Chinese roulette with our stuff. Like we pick stuff from the best suppliers. We test the stuff. We use the same stuff we sell here. So, I'm not some random person just reselling crap. We put it through its paces. And basically, if it can survive our print farm, I'm comfortable selling it to you guys.
Right. And if you check out some of my past videos, we do go down and then visit Tim, and he's actually been here. So check that out. His parts are awesome. If I don't have my ender plugged in right now, I literally have not got anything back in order after Milwaukee Maker Faire.
I mean, if it's ender with my board in there, you could have it printing right next to you and probably not even hear it.
I have on this stream. I had it printing right here, and I was like, to hear that, that's the fan, because that's all you can see right now. But
Trinamics are magic.
Plasma. I got to go back to this. I got to put this up there real quick because we're. There we go. While we're gonna pick a winner, I'm gonna throw that up there. He says,
"I don't think I'm obsessed. I don't think I'm obsessed enough with myself to have a bust made of me."
WFO Rider says, "Tough kitty."
There's a little story for you guys about how much of a joke TSA is. If you give me a get out of jail free card that says I'm a tester, I'll take whatever weapon you want on an airplane just to show you how much of a joke they are. But
now you're on a list.
Arizona.
He's on the
Arizona
list.
when I lived in Pennsylvania for NARA. A little bit too far to drive. I'd fly to a NARA. I brought 2 suitcases with me. One was filled with clothes and my military laptop. I figured it was rugged enough to handle going as a checked bag. The other one was literally, I'm not joking, a hard shell case full of missiles. Literally missiles.
Oh,
And
your
not
rockets?
Virgin missiles. I'm talking flown missiles. So there's black powder and APCP all over that crap. No live motors, but residue everywhere. I get to the hotel, I reach into my bag, and my laptop burns me. Literally, blister on my hand. It burns me. It's so hot. Those douchebags turned on the computer and never turned it off. But they never opened the case full of missiles.
Well, I have a feeling
I fly
you're.
home again. This time I take the battery out. This is before you were required to have batteries on board, on carry-on. So I took the battery out and I left a note in the laptop. Like, you morons are too stupid to turn off computers. So if you want to see this work, come find me. They still opened up my bag of dirty clothes in the laptop and still never opened the case full of missiles.
Sir, can you please come outside the home with your hands behind your head?
And then I popped the missile and
Oh, nice. That is too funny. Well, and Tim, you just reminded me of when you went back on today and you sounded like the chipmunks for like 5 minutes before you realized that you're.
Oh, because I didn't turn my voice changer off?
Yeah, exactly. It was awesome. But all right, we got to get flying. I know we're way over time here, but that's okay. Hey, 3D Jimmy, congratulations. You got the Creality kit there with the PTFE fittings or PTFE tube and tough tube and the PTFE.
If he's already a customer, it's really easy for me to set up the order. Otherwise, just forward me his address, name, phone, and email. That's it.
And
social, put into the system.
We'll need your social. We'll need your.
No, we're not endurance lasers here.
Mother's maiden name and your best friend in high school or whatever. And no.
PIN number for your debit card.
Yeah. You know, before I sign off, I got to say this. George just tried to friend request me on Facebook. And I was like, I just ignored it. And it's like, all that aside, it's not happening. It's not happening. But sorry, George. But these guys all told you where you can find me. Where you can find them. You can find me right here on the Edge of Tech channel on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, please do that. We are getting close to that 5,000 subscriber mark where we're going to give away a TiVo Tarantula Pro sitting right over here. And we're going to.
What happened to you giving away a Prusa?
Yeah, I got to get one first. So I
they're honestly overrated. We have one, and needless to say, we didn't buy more. We just kept buying Ender 3s.
Joseph, if you're listening, I didn't say that. No, I'm just playing. but yeah, you can find me here. You can find us here every Monday, 6 p.m. Central Time, right here for the community showcase. I really appreciate you guys all. We've had an awesome crowd watching this whole show. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Again, to our sponsors, TH3D, Tim, thank you so much. We couldn't be here without you guys letting us do videos and helping us with giveaways and jumping in the chat sometimes too, which is a lot of fun.
I think this is all just a ruse for you to get free stuff from us.
And what gives?
Very elaborate.
65 people watching, 33 likes. I mean,
yeah, come on. Seriously,
right.
everybody.
Hit that like. Hit the comment.
Hit the like button now.
Too much fun with that. Coex 3D, Coex Filaments, thank you so much again for the mystery rolls you're giving away and for everything you do for the channel. I really appreciate it. Robbie Mack, for the background you're going to see in a second.
Where's the Godzilla?
I can't tell you. Matter of fact, I can't.
Did you find it?
I didn't look yet.
You didn't find it?
No, I didn't look yet. Did you?
What if it's? I didn't. What if it's under the shipping label?
It might be.
That would be hilarious.
Well, he said what happened was on my video last month, Lindsay found it too fast and he thought it was going to be harder to find. So he said he was going to make this month's harder. I know he's not anymore, but oh, there you go. It's not, I can tell you it's not on the inner flaps, but it's somewhere. So for those of you who don't know, Robbie Mack actually designs the boxes for the Alien 3D UFO box. And this is a really awesome box. Check out my videos on it. I think Chris has videos on it too.
That's my contribution to Alien 3D.
What was that?
A custom box, and I was like, dude, do a custom box every month. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, there's a holiday or something every month. Do a custom box every month. It'd be freaking awesome.
Fun fact, Robbie Mack also designed our Easy Level stickers, and the company he used to work for made them for us.
Nice.
Right here in Indiana.
Check this out. If you check out my link on my videos, you get $5 off of your first box, and it's really cool. The projects are really fun to do. Mr. Buttram, hashtag Robbie Max Wingman, just said it's not under the shipping label.
Oh, I didn't know he knew Robbie Mack. The plot thickens.
Yes.
He is in Indiana.
But check that out. Full circle, though.
If Alien 3D is listening, that's a great idea.
What's that?
Name here. Michael Cassell just gave me a little kernel of an idea that I just jumped on right now. Make one side of the box. So here's your Alien 3D box. Make one side of the box a different image than the rest of the box, so that when you collect them all, you put them together into a picture puzzle.
Nice.
That'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool. I bet Robbie could make that happen. And Ron Mack, or I'm sorry, was that John Mack that said? Yeah, John Mack. I think these were pretty awesome. So
yeah, I got the super limited edition one here.
Chris actually got him to send him one too. But again, but we got to get flying, guys. You guys stick around just for a minute or two. I'm going to shut down the stream, and I'll be right back with you guys. Thank you again.
Bye, everybody.
Also to StreamYards.
I love you all.
Thank you again to StreamYards. I definitely appreciate the platform.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, wait. I apologize. I just saw your chat right now, guys. So where are you guys? They said if you want to do a giveaway for a waffle maker, you'll mail one to someone. That would be awesome. So I apologize. I literally just thought. So right when I'm about to say thank you to StreamYard as well for letting us be on your platform.
Yep.
But I got to say this. Let me go back to Nightbot.
So yeah, we'll send someone obviously the waffle and all the body parts to go with it, and they can make their own. If you got that picture, you could show the picture again from the event from the Milwaukee Maker Faire.
Sure, I'll do that. I apologize I didn't see this sooner, but let's do
no
this.
worries.
While we're doing that, type waffle. It's making me hungry now. I need some waffles. Waffle into the chat. And these guys are going to give away one of their waffle guys. What do you call it? Waffle
maker. It's
waffle maker. Okay,
and he's a maker.
I just want to make sure. I almost said Mr. Potato Waffle Guy, but
and we will release the light up disco shoes, so you'll have the light up disco shoes with them.
That's awesome. All right, let me pause this. So. Let me share this. So while we're doing that, type waffle in the screen, and I will show them what they're winning real quick here if I can pull this up. So this is what they're going to give you. They're going to give you a kit of the waffle maker, and he said you're going to give them legs and arms and light up disco shoes.
Oh yeah, the whole ball of wax there.
Awesome. That is so cool, man. And this is such a cool STEM thing, and it's for 6 to 12-year-olds, right? I think that's
grade 6 to 12.
Oh, grade 6 to 12. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Streamlabs is really freaking cool.
There's so much you can do. Yeah. So everybody, waffle. Okay, I'll give you about 30 more seconds for waffle. Creality, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I know we're just about to shut her down. We're about 30 minutes over time, but I appreciate you guys jumping in and saying hi. Hi, Creality. So everybody say hi to Creality.
Hello.
Hi, Creality.
Is in the channel.
Hi, Creality. My name's Jim, and I'm a 3D printer-aholic.
Enable thermal runaway protection.
Too funny. All right, everybody.
Thermal runaway.
Someone type chicken and waffles. That's amazing.
Chicken and waffles are delicious.
There we go. We got to make it chicken, so that way we can have chicken and waffles. That's awesome.
Especially that sausage gravy.
Brilliant.
Who here has the CR10 V2 on order?
Oh, I don't yet.
I jumped on it.
On order. Do I, Creality?
I gave up on trying to get printers from them. We just buy them now.
How are y'all doing? Great live. We're doing great. It's been an awesome show featuring some awesome makers, and I'm about to give away a waffle maker right now. Not a literal waffle maker, but a waffle maker. Yeah.
I was going to ask if that's actually Creality, but I think it is based on the typing.
Yeah. It's I can identify their account real quick. And I definitely appreciate them stopping by. So what do we got? Gandor. Congratulations. Gandor won the waffle maker. There we go.
Chris is saying, I'd like to see a V2 upgrade kit. Seeing as they changed so much, I doubt it. And I wouldn't expect them to. The funny thing is, their marketing material literally says how terrible the stock PSU on the CR10 is and the plastic extruder as a selling point to sell the new one. I thought that was funny.
Reality, that's
they did upgrade it quite a bit. So I mean, they put in the mean wall supply and everything like they did on the Ender 3 Pro. So.
Right. Well, anyways, guys, stick around for 1 second. We need to get flying. Like I said, we're way over. I apologize to everybody watching. I know you guys are probably having a blast anyway, but I usually try to keep it pretty tight. But we brought Tim in. We wanted to talk a little longer. But thank you, Chris. Thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate that. Guys down here, thank you so much. Rob and Nick, right?
Yep, Rob and Nick.
I said that. So earlier I was saying Nick and Rob, and then I messed myself. I'm all back.
It's interchangeable. You can go either way.
All right, good.
Okay, stream's over.
Thank you so much.
Well, anytime. I mean, I love it. We'd love to see your printer when you get it dialed in and it's done. I know we had some really cool suggestions earlier about throwing a downward camera and a Raspberry Pi in there.
Yep. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a video here on the ESP32 cam, so that way you can put a dozen small cameras and none of it's USB. So
nice.
Put a million of them on your
ESPs are awesome. I've got one running my blinds up here.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
And thank you so much, Tim. I saw Timmy fingers down there.
Yeah, my overhead camera here.
I love it. All right, guys, I'm gonna get flying. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out tonight. Thank you so much for supporting the community showcase and the makers in our community. We really appreciate it. We all really appreciate that. We'll see you guys soon. We'll see you next week. Have a great night.